Hey everybody, I am David, and today I'm going to be talking about Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. It's that time of the year again where we are getting a new Star Wars movie, and I'm going to be talking about it. Now, I'm going to warn you all right off the bat that this might contain a lot of spoilers. I'm gonna go all out with this one. Usually I like keeping it non-spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, go check it out and make up your own decision, and then come back and check out my review, and we can all talk about it. So let's get right off the bat. Obviously, the storyline I was looking forward to most was Luke and Rey. I wanted to see what was gonna go on with those two. I wanted to see all the answers regarding those two. And I'm going to say this storyline was probably my favorite storyline, as well as the Kylo-Ren storyline, and how that was integrated into Rey's story. Basically, Luke, we learn a lot why he decided to separate himself from the outside world or universe. We find out that he tried, again, spoiler alert, once we get to this point, you guys, there's no turning back, you're gonna know shit. We find out that apparently Luke tried killing Kylo-Ren, and because he felt the anger and the dark side within him, that he felt, maybe there's no redeeming this kid. Maybe I better end it now before it gets worse. So he actually tried to kill Kylo-Ren because of that. And Kylo rebelled and destroyed the Jedi Temple that Luke was training other Jedis at. We never got to see these other Jedis, but it's hinted at in the movie that apparently Kylo took them with him. Maybe that, or maybe he killed them off screen, who the heck knows, but that's what we are hinted at. So and then there's this whole situation with Rey. He doesn't want to train Rey because he thinks Rey is just going to turn out to be like Kylo-Ren. Not as much maybe, but he starts seeing some similarities. And I really liked a lot of the stuff with Luke, his hesitation at training Rey because he's lost a lot of faith in the Jedi ways. And Rey is holding out hope. She thinks there is a way to save Kylo-Ren because she has seen a little bit of his future, because she's been talking to him throughout this entire film. There's some sort of a connection between them where they are seeing each other, but they can't really see the surroundings that they're in. And I thought that was all great. I thought there was some really interesting camera work, I guess, helping. Because at first I was kind of confused what the heck was going on. Like, what's going on? Are they seeing each other? And then they do confirm that, yeah, they see each other, and they almost try to fight each other at first, but they don't. And they start bonding a little bit, but in a weird, creepy sort of way. And you don't know where it's going. Like, is Rey turning to the dark side? Is Kylo Ren going to turn to the good side? There's some interesting dynamics there that I was really, really enjoying. That when it plays out pretty, maybe halfway through the movie, where we get to Snoke eventually, and Snoke is killed halfway through the movie, and I wasn't expecting that. I was like, whoa, they are actually going here. They're doing this quickly. So where is the movie gonna go from here? So definitely I was on edge with this whole storyline going forward, and seeing where it ends too, I think was really satisfying. Snoke, to me in this movie, I thought Snoke was interesting in The Force Awakens. I know a lot of people were kind of let down by him because he was just a hologram, but I like the way Andy Serkis played him, so I was interested. I got right away that, yes, he's going to be the new Emperor type character. It's like when you watch A New Hope, the Emperor is only mentioned very briefly. I felt with The Force Awakens, they gave us enough of Snoke that we get it. He's the new Emperor type of character. And in this movie, you really feel the how scary this guy is. You feel it. And yeah, I really did think Andy Serkis really brought it all. He's like in a couple of scenes, but he's very effective, and you see why Kylo-Ren or Ben Skywalker or Ben Solo is afraid of this guy. Like, he could kill him any minute. So when Ben or Kylo Ren finally decides to step up against this guy, or betray him at an unexpected moment, I was like, whoa. Because I didn't see it coming. My brother said he saw it coming, so he thought it was interesting how Kylo Ren was being built up to something, and he was wondering, where is he building up to? But it was a moment where Rey tried getting the lightsaber to kill Kylo Ren herself. I mean, Snoke herself. That's when my brother guessed it. But me, it just came as a surprise because I didn't think about it, how the character was being built up. But it makes sense ultimately when I look at it all. Another thing I really liked was it looks like this sets up Kylo Ren's future at becoming the leader of the First Order now, which is something different. You know, it's not an Emperor type character. It would be like what if Darth Vader had killed the Emperor and then he decided to take charge of the Empire. That's what it would be like. Except Kylo Ren isn't as... I'll be the first one to admit this. Kylo Ren is no Darth Vader yet. To me, he's a little whiny at times, a little hot-headed, which is something that Darth Vader never was, not counting the prequels. Darth Vader was more cool and collective, and he knew how to control his temper, you know? If he was angry, you just kill the person that pissed him off without even hesitating. There is hesitation with Kylo Ren. I did think his interactions with General Hux was really good, played by Domhnall Gleeson. I thought there were some funny moments with Domhnall Gleeson as Hux. There was a lot of funny moments in this movie in particular, even with Oscar Isaac's character, Poe. I thought he had a lot of really good funny moments. Poe definitely gets a lot better screen time, in my opinion, in this movie than he did in The Force Awakens. Where in The Force Awakens, I looked at him more as a supporting player. He's still a supporting player because Rey is obviously the main player. But Poe gets a lot more to do in this movie, I felt, and I was a lot more satisfied with him. Because in the first movie, I was kind of like, okay, he's just another character in the background. But this one, no, he gets a little bit more to do, which was much more satisfying. And now I look at him as a major player in this story arc. Finn goes on his own adventure for a while, a little bit, with a new character named Rose. They have some flirtation going on. They have a little romance building. I thought the chemistry between the two characters, Rose and Finn, was enjoyable. I just felt the journey they were on wasn't the right journey to take them on. I felt it was a little slow at times. I felt it kind of slowed down the film. And when I see where they end up eventually finding Benicio del Toro's character, DJ, the initials of my name, and they need him to go onto one of the First Order's ships to take down the shields or something. And when it ultimately ended up with Finn and Rose getting captured, it kind of and DJ betraying them, I kind of thought to myself, this was a pointless story arc because they could have just went on the ship themselves, tried to do it themselves if they made Rose the kind of character that they were looking for, and then they just happened to get caught. They could have saved so much more time doing it that way and shortening the story a little bit more. You could have cut out maybe half an hour that way, and I think it would have been a much better film in that regard, because I did feel like some of the stuff with the rebellion trying to escape the Empire, I feel like that was stalling a little bit, way too much, but fine, whatever. For the most part, it didn't bug me too much, but I did feel like it was stalling a little bit more than it should have been. That's just my opinion. Maybe other people out there like the Finn and Rose storyline and the rebellion going slowly into space, trying to escape, but they can't really speed it up. It was like the ticking time bomb sort of situation. You know that there's a ticking time bomb because the time is running out. And that's what that whole thing kind of was for me. And I just hate the ticking time bomb. But Poe's story arc was kind of interesting because he's going through this thing with Laura Dern's character, who she's like put in charge after Leia is knocked out. There's a moment in the movie where they make us think Leia might be dead, and we actually get to see Leia use the Force a little bit here, which was really cool to me. It could have been really bad, but I felt it was executed nicely. That I was okay with it, and I'm glad Leia didn't die. They actually give her a really nice ending for this movie. They didn't set it up like, this is how we filmed it and edited it to make it look like we're sending off Leia. No, they give her an ending where it looked like she was supposed to return for the next one, but it wasn't mandatory. Like, they can have this movie the next movie take place maybe 3-4 years later, and have her maybe mention that she passed away during that time. I can see them doing that for Episode 9. Episode 9 does not, it's not like this one where it has to take place right where the last movie takes off, because there's a lot of answers. No, the next movie can take place a couple years later if they really wanted to, because they give it a nice, satisfying ending. It's not a to be continued ending like I think a lot of people were expecting it to, because that's the way Empire ends. That's the way Attack of the Clones ends. This is the second movie in the middle. No, it doesn't end that way. It gives it a pretty satisfying ending. So Poe's character is kind of built up throughout this entire movie to be possibly the next general of the Resistance. And I think Oscar Isaacs really did a great job. I thought Laura Dern's character, who I thought, what is she doing? Is she like evil or something? And then you find out, no, she's just doing what she thinks is right. And ultimately her sacrifice by the end of it all is really well handled, and you actually do, once you realize what her character was up to and what she was trying to do, you ultimately, I think, feel for that character, and when you see her sacrifice, it's well earned. I liked even the moment between Laura Dern and Carrie Fisher when they were saying "May the Force be," but then Carrie Fisher's like, you know what, I said it enough, you can say it, and Laura Dern says "May the Force be with," and I feel like that was giving Laura Dern, because she is a Star Wars fan. She said it on Jimmy Kimmel recently, where she was very excited to be part of this franchise, and she got so excited when she saw Mark Hamill there at Jimmy Kimmel. She was like, oh my god, that's Luke Skywalker. So I feel like that was a moment for her, like she was actually fangirling because she's talking to Carrie Fisher, a character that a lot of women look up to, Princess Leia. Which, this is her last movie, so it was a really nice moment between them. There was a really badass moment by the end of it where Luke faces Kylo-Ren, and this was a prediction of mine that I thought Luke was not going to die, and the way the fight panned out made you think, oh shit, how is this going to end? Because at first they start firing all these lasers at him. Kylo Ren's like, fire every laser we have on him and every gun blaster, whatever we have on him. And they start blasting him. And you think, oh shit, how's Luke is he gonna be so strong that he's gonna be able to like stop all these laser blasts from hitting him? And it seems like it's going that way. And then Kylo Ren jumps out or gets out and starts fighting a lightsaber duel with Luke, and Luke has the blue lightsaber again. I thought he would have had the green one because that they even showed the green one in the flashbacks with him trying to kill Kylo Ren. And I really did like the moment even leading up to it where Luke had a little bit of an interaction with Leia. I thought that scene was so well needed. Because, now we don't have Han, but at least we can have Luke reuniting with Leia. That to us was important because Leia did reunite with Han in the last movie. So, at least everyone reunited with Leia, and she's she's the strong one right now, leading the Resistance. But going back to this fight, Leia gives Luke his blessings that she believes she's starting to accept that yes, her son will probably never return to the light side. And Luke even warns her, look, I'm not here to bring him back because I think that's all over now. I'm here to stop him. And so or to fight him. And he goes out fighting. And then it looks like Kylo Ren kills Luke because he slices the lightsaber right through him. But then you see Luke still standing, and you're like, what the heck is going on here? And we find out that Luke is actually still on the island, using, I guess, a hologram of Force ghosts of some sort, meditating his spirit to be there, from my understanding, from how I viewed it. And with that, Luke tells Kylo Ren, look, you can strike me down all you want, but I will always be here. Just like your father, I will always be here, to kind of haunt you for the rest of your life. And it was a pretty badass moment. There was a moment where like he pretends to brush off some dust that I thought was pretty funny. And yeah, so it looks like all was fine and dandy, and then when Luke's spirit vanishes, we see him back on the island. But then it looks like whatever power he was using caused him to go out peacefully. He falls back and he dies peacefully, like Yoda did in Return of the Jedi. He just disappeared and his cloak was there. It was like he went up to heaven naked. And that was the end of Luke. Which I do believe we will see Luke again in Episode 9, especially now that Carrie Fisher is no longer with us. I do think Luke will be a Force ghost, definitely, in a larger role than was intended. Luke will train Rey and maybe even try to help bring Kylo Ren back. But there's a problem with Kylo Ren right now. Right now, up to this point, after The Force Awakens, I was getting ready to forgive Kylo Ren myself. I thought, you know what, maybe there's still redemption there somewhere. And after this movie, I was like, that's it. There's no redemption for Kylo Ren. He has to die. I don't know how you redeem a character like this. He had that chance in the middle of this movie when he killed Snoke and decided, but as soon as he tried to tempt Rey to the dark side, said, hey, Rey, come with me and we are going to rule the galaxy together. That to me is where, no, that's it. This guy has to die. He can no longer be redeemed. I can't see no redemption, no reasoning of redeeming this character. I think he has to die. That's just me. If other people think that he can still be redeemed, go for it. Tell me how this character can be redeemed after this movie. He tried to kill his own uncle. The anger is so... He tried to kill his own mother. He almost did. He killed his father. And he's been getting rid of all his goodness that he is finally fully, as far as I'm concerned, he's fully in the dark side. He's fully gone as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, maybe Rey will have to, maybe this is the end of the Skywalkers as we know it. And because Rey apparently is related to nobody. We find out in the middle of the movie as well, was she's on the island, that she goes into this cave of darkness, and she sees a reflection of herself. She doesn't see her parents. And Kylo-Ren later tells her, after he kills Snoke and all that, you're related to no one. So you're not an important figure. Unless he was lying. I've been thinking about it. The way he said it, maybe he was lying. Maybe she is related to someone. He just wanted to weaken her and have her feel worthless. That I can see. Maybe he lied to her. Maybe Luke will tell her the truth in episode 9. I have no idea what's going to happen. But that is a possibility. Maybe she does turn out to be a Skywalker somehow. Because there's a lot of things in The Force Awakens that kind of hinted to me that she was going to be related to Han in some way. Han and Leia. Leia would have said something. Maybe. Maybe Leia didn't even know that was her daughter. Han seemed to think she looked familiar or seemed familiar. So Maz Kanata hinted that she might have known something. Maybe not. Maybe she isn't related to anybody. Maybe Kylo-Ren was telling her the truth. So I don't know. For all it's worth, though, I thought this movie was really good. They even gave us a really fan service moment that was really great. Yoda returns. There's a scene in the movie where Luke is about to burn down the Tree of Knowledge where all the Jedi texts are. Now, I didn't notice this, but I heard another person's spoiler review, because I just watched somebody else's spoiler review just to see what they thought. And they said that Rey took the Jedi texts out of there before Yoda burned it. So Yoda apparently knew that the Jedi texts weren't in the Tree of Knowledge anyways. But did Luke? Luke, I guess, didn't know, maybe. So I guess there was a part of Yoda that was like, it's a good thing the Jedi texts aren't burned down, because they do need to be passed down knowledge. The knowledge needs to pass down. But I like that line that Yoda gives to Luke, like, have you forgotten what I told you? Like, pass down with what you have learned, which is something he said in Empire. And I thought that was a really good line at reminding Luke. And so that's why I also think Luke has to come back to finish Rey's training. I think he has to really teach Rey the ways of the Force. And obviously the Jedi texts are going to be there, so it's not all forgotten. But yeah, I really loved Yoda's cameo in this movie, and that they made him a puppet again, which was really cool to me, because obviously the last time we saw Yoda in a new Star Wars film, they made him CGI, which I didn't mind. A lot of people complain about the CGI in the prequels. I actually didn't mind Yoda being CGI, but having him as a puppet again kind of brought back that nostalgia feel that I really, really thought was nice. I really thought it was a nice touch that they made him that. So that was my only prediction. By the way, if you've seen my 5 predictions of Star Wars, that was my only prediction that came true. That we would see a Force ghost of either Yoda, Obi-Wan, Anakin, or all 3. And we saw Yoda, so my prediction came true on that one. Because I did say Yoda would be the one we would see for sure. There was a part of me hoping that Ewan McGregor would show up as a Force ghost, as Obi-Wan. But I get why they probably didn't. Maybe they wanted the older Obi-Wan to always be remembered as Alec Guinness. So fine, I let it slide. There's still hope for the Obi-Wan movie where Ewan McGregor could return. But after all that, I know this is getting to be a long review. I'm going to end this now, guys. This was a really enjoyable Star Wars film. This is not my favorite Star Wars film of all time. I think I still like The Force Awakens a little bit more. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it's a rehash." Well, if you didn't want a rehash, you're getting it with this one. This one felt like a lot of risks were taken. A lot of people have been saying that, and I agree with those statements. A lot of risks were taken. A lot of differences were made. And if you were someone that was disappointed with the rehash, quote unquote rehash of The Force Awakens, because I don't agree with that, then you should be happy with this one. This one definitely takes Star Wars in some different places and sets up for different things to happen in Episode 9, which I'm really looking forward to now. I think I was really satisfied with it. With that being said, I am giving this movie an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I thought it was a good movie. There's not it gets bogged down a little bit, mostly in the middle with the Finn storyline, like I said earlier. But other than that, I thought it was a really worthy entry into the Star Wars saga. And I can't wait for Episode 9. And the Han Solo movie, I'm still hesitant about that one. But for the most part, I think Star Wars is in good hands with Disney. So, and I am looking forward to Rian Johnson's new Star Wars trilogy and what that's going to be about. Will it be connected to this in some way, or will it be something else entirely? I can't wait to see it. And with that being said, I'm ending this here. Comment below, guys, if you've seen Star Wars The Last Jedi. Tell me what you thought of it. Like my video to support me. And if you like this video, my review, hopefully you guys did like it. Subscribe to my channel if you are someone that never seen any of my videos before and you like this one. I always talk about Star Wars, mostly superhero stuff, superhero TV and movies, and so much more. And until next time, take care.